Do you ever feel like what you're doing creatively is just not the vibe and you'll never amount to anything? Because I've surely been there. But don't fret, okay? Because very successful musicians have been right in your shoes, and today I want to talk about 5 songs that the world almost didn't hear for one reason or another. Also have a new little guy holding my microphone. Please say hello to Clancy Cat. I painted him myself. It seems like the last video I did taking music history into like top 5 little moments, you guys seem to like that, so we're gonna try it again. But first song on the list is Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Saying that this song almost didn't happen sounds insane to me. I feel like it's so iconic now, it's hard to think of a world where we didn't get that. But come to find it out, Kurt Cobain thought the song was just too weak and it wasn't strong enough to be officially released. But after some persuasion, it was released and it became one of the most iconic rock songs of all time. It is surely one of the most iconic drum intros of all time. I feel like every drummer has to learn that part. Of course, that song alone kicked off the grunge era in America, and Americans were absolutely hooked. And this song might have helped our other song on the list, which is Creep. Just a little side fun fact about Creep before we get into why it was almost a flop. The noise in it, that wow out, was put in the song by the guitarist just because he wanted to sabotage the song. He didn't like it, so he thought that was his way of like ruining the song, but it majorly backfired because I feel like that's like the part everyone likes in that song. But yeah, that was a little backfired sabotage there. Anyways, Creep by Radiohead was a flop in the UK when it was first released. Basically, people were under the assumption that the song was just too sad and just way too depressing to kind of fit into anything that was going on at the time. It only sold about 6,000 copies, and it flopped so hard in the UK that the label actually stopped making physical copies of it, essentially making it deleted by the label. But Americans loved Creep because at the time, they were riding the high of Nirvana and Smells Like Teen Spirit, and they were hungry for more songs that had that kind of same feel. It was actually a college radio station that found one of the leftover copies of Creep and played it for an American radio station, and the rest is history. Americans loved it. And because it became such a hit in America, the UK actually re-released it about a year later after it was first released. Again, this is another one of those songs I cannot imagine the world not having. I feel like everyone likes Creep by Radiohead, and if you don't like Creep, check yourself. You are wrong. You're just wrong. Third on the list, and greatly diverging from this whole grunge era, is Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. See, up until her album 1989, Taylor Swift was a country music star, and her record label was pretty happy with her staying in the country realm, but she wanted to expand. She wanted to be a pop star, and the way to do it was her breakout single, Shake It Off. Now, the song was so drastically different than anything else that she had released previously that her label was a bit hesitant and did not want her to release Shake It Off. They just thought it was too different, and they even hated the name. But Taylor Swift insisted, and what Taylor Swift wants, Taylor Swift gets, and this song was the start of her pop star career. Obviously, she made a great move considering she is one of the biggest pop stars of all time. I think the biggest pop star of all time at this point. She's just taking over the universe. Number 4, we have Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. And nothing else matters. See, Metallica, being a metal band, is loud and angry, and most of their lyrics are loud and angry. It's the stuff you listen to get pumped up and fired up, and you're like, yeah, I want to fight something. But Nothing Else Matters isn't like that. It's a very emotional song, and it's slowed down, and it doesn't really sound angry at all. So much so that James Hetfield felt like the song was just too much in the feels, and that he might be perceived as too weak by his fans. But after good old Lars gave it a listen, he said that he should release it anyway because it was a good song. And so because of Lars, that song became one of the most iconic songs in their entire discography. I think it's awesome. And I also think it's one of the best things that Lars has ever done. It's just too easy to dunk on Lars. I'm sorry. The last song on this list is not as iconic as some of the other songs on this list, and I understand that, but I needed to add this artist on here because my subscribers are hungry for it. I also made them last because I had to make you wait for it, baby. The last song that we almost didn't have was Neon Gravestones by 21 Pilots. Neon gravestones try to call. Now, if you're a 21 Pilots fan, you're probably familiar with this song, but for those of you not familiar with it, it is an incredibly intense song. It's a song that calls out how the media and society kind of glamorize and romanticize someone taking their own life, and how some people unfortunately believe that this is a way to make a statement and to make people remember you. But the end of the song reminds us that it's life that we should be celebrating, and the lyrics of this song are very upfront and honest. Normally 21 Pilots kind of veil their things like through metaphors and kind of lore type things, but this song is straight up and it tells you what Tyler is thinking exactly, which I think if you're gonna write a song like this, it is important to be just upfront and be like, this is it. But their label feared that the song was just too graphic and intense to be released. But Tyler Joseph, seeing the importance of adding this song on the album, fought for it, and he got his way in the end. People familiar with 21 Pilots recognize that Neon Gravestones is probably one of the more important songs on Trench, if not in their entire discography. Considering 21 Pilots is a band that bases its whole thing on being emotionally vulnerable and sharing experiences with fans, I'm really glad a song like this made it. So there you go, there were 5 songs that we almost didn't hear. I hope this makes you feel better if you are writing your own stuff. You might be sitting on a masterpiece and not know it. It just makes me think of all the songs that didn't get released, that could have been hits, that we'll never know about. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe to join the Groovy Graveyard, and I will see you in the next one.